This is the West Michigan Sports Show, presented by Dasos Digital. Now, here's your host, Brandon Wirth.
Hello, good friends, and welcome back into another episode and edition of the West Michigan Sports Show, presented by our great friends at Dasos Digital. Brandon Wirth joining you here live. We appreciate all of you tuning in, whether you're live with us on 96.5, 107.7, or 1460, as well as you can stream this show on the go anywhere you go on WBRN.com and the WBRN mobile app. We got a great show for you here today. We are recapping the postseason for all of our teams, whether it's girls soccer, whether it's baseball, whether it's softball, whether it's track and field, and even we'll get to preview golf, as that will be happening this weekend, folks, and actually might be happening right now as you are listening to this show live over the airwaves, or it had just happened if you're listening post-produced, but we'll get you up to speed on all those things next week when it comes to golf, as well as the rest of the summer. And many of you might be wondering, this is a local sports coverage show and kind of an editorial format. So what happens when the scores go away? Well, I'll tell you, we're going to have some great things planned. We got interviews in store for you here. We'll get to preview and review a lot of the seasons with a lot of the coaches. And especially, many of you are going to really enjoy this, previewing early into next year, as well as we'll do some athlete stories as well on the docket. Really excited to see how those turn out. We'll get some of them on the show to talk about their experience as an athlete, some of the things coming up, as well as we'll get more interviews from outside staff, officials, administrators, all the people that make high school sports happen. We're going to talk to them, and we're going to get you all of the great interview coverage, as well as we'll keep the traditional talk show formats if something pops up, as well as we might get back into the top 5 segments. Some of you guys like that debate, so we might get back into that as our schedule allows. But before we get into the thick of all of our scoring recaps, we want to thank all of our great friends for all of their help making this show possible, and those include Johnson's Automotive Repair, the Schuberg Insurance Agency, Quality Car and Truck Repair, Alter Care Big Rapids, Parasato Sales and Service of Big Rapids, Moda the Mecosta Osceola Transit Authority, and the Mecosta Osceola Career Center. Thanks to you for your support of this show. And not to play favorites, but we, of course, have our great friends that are our primary sponsor, Dasos Digital. And many of you might be wondering what Dasos Digital is. So I'm going to tell you, if you're navigating your business through the digital wilderness and it feels like a heavily infested forest with the times and the technology that we have now, Dasos Digital's got you covered. No matter what you need, they offer a variety of services: programmatic display, premium streaming, digital video, graphic design, digital out of home when you have to put things in front of your potential customers, as well as video production. They got it all covered for you. You can find out more information, see their work, and contact the company today at DasosDigital.com. Big thanks to them for their support. And trust me when I say this, they do good work. So contact them. Get yourself into the digital forest, not only necessarily with the tree planted, but get your tree growing above all the rest of the trees. That's exactly where it comes from, and they can help you do that. So with that being said, let's get into the gauntlet, shall we? We're going to go all the way back to May 20th. That is where we are starting. That gets us back to some of the girls soccer districts as well. We'll start there. District 18. We mentioned some of these on last show, but I wanted to make sure I came back around to say them in case I missed any of them that were rescheduled or moved due to some of the storms that we had. Midland against Big Rapids. Midland gets the win at home, 8-0 there against the Cardinals, ending their season for Coach Ray and company. Unfortunate loss for them. That is the only soccer district matchup that was in the area over the last couple weeks. So that's what you got here. Now we go to baseball, our pre-district round, or you can say district quarterfinal round. District 37, Newaygo against Ludington. It's the Orioles winning in dramatic fashion. They win 5-4 to get the victory and move on in the District 37 pre-district, and they would go on to play against a team that they would end up beating. We'll get to that here in just a minute. Grant against Sparta. It's the Spartans over the Tigers, 5-1, ending Grant season. Still a very good season for the Tigers, above 500 and competitive as always. As well as in District 77, Central Montcalm outlasts a hungry Ovid Elsie squad in District 77, 4-3 final score in that matchup there in the pre-district. Going to the pre-district for softball, District 72, Chip Hills and Morley Stanwood. And we had a prediction that this game was going to be close here in the studio. And were we on point? 11-10, the final score in that one at Chip Hills. Boy, what a game that was. But it's the Mohawks taking down the Warriors at home. And also in the pre-district 73, it's Kent City over Grant 7-1 for a clean 3-0 series season sweep for the Eagles over top the Tigers. Now we move into May 29th, as well for girls soccer districts that were also from this past week and not from the week before. Tri-County against Shepherd, it's a 9-2 win for the Vikings as they moved on in the district tournament. District 51, McBain Northern Michigan Christian played against the Wildcats of Lakeview, and it's the Comets beating Lakeview 3-1, the final score in that one, as well as in softball pre-district 36 action, Big Rapids against Freeland going down to the wire, but it's going to be Freeland over the Cardinals 3-2 as they will move on in the district bracket. Now we get to June 1st where all the fun begins. All the rest of the teams are continuing on. We got Whitehall and Big Rapids. It would be the Vikings getting their revenge from the fall over top the Cardinals. 7-3 final score in that one. Whitehall gets on top early and holds on and will play for a district title, and we'll tell you the result of that in just a minute. Comstock Park against Tri-County. It's a win for the Panthers over the Vikings, 15-4. Your final score in that one from District 39. District 70, Everett against Reed City, a battle for US 10 for the district championship. And Reed City wins it 11-0, the final score. They are your district champions. Reed City got there by beating McBain 13-7, and Everett got there winning 3-0 there over Leroy Pine River. So that's your results from District 70. What an upset we had in District 73. First off, North Muskegon took care of business, beat Kent City 5-1. Then we had the major upset, a loss for North Muskegon and a victory for Montague. What a huge upset for the Wildcats. They win it and take down the number one team in the state. Boy, how about them Wildcats? Not necessarily a CSAA team, but we got to give credit where credit is due. District 74, Clare over top of Lakeview 4-2, and Clare would go on to beat Chip Hills 12-1 in 5 innings to take the District 74 title down there in what it was a really good environment here over there at Chip Hills for that district. Chip Hills reached the final after beating Morley Stanwood 5-3, and Clare got there, obviously mentioning beating Lakeview 4-2. And we move on to District 77. Central Montcalm wins over St. Louis. They went 11-1 in the semis, and they clinched the title. They beat Pewamo Westphalia 5-2 on their home turf in the 3 o'clock championship game and take home a trophy where they would play a tough regional semifinal that we'll get to here in just a little bit. Muskegon Catholic Central against White Cloud. The Indians win it 1-0 in dramatic fashion, but the Indians would fall in the next game to Muskegon Western Michigan Christian, the district champs, 4-1 in the District 108 championship matchup. District 38, we flip to the softball diamond now. Newaygo against Tri-County, and the Lions took care of business, and it only took them 3 innings, 17-1 your final, and Newaygo was not done yet. We said they could make a statement, and they certainly did. 13-1 winner in the district championship against Sparta in 5 innings. They got it done. Once again, the final scoreline, 13-1 Lions over the Spartans. District 72, a matchup we have been waiting for all year long. Knowing this draw, it certainly brought the allure, but Everett was ready to play. They beat Reed City 9-0 in that semifinal matchup. Everett would go on to beat Morley Stanwood in 5 innings, 19-0. In that district championship. So Everett wins back-to-back District 72 titles once again. Morley Stanwood reached the final by defeating Lakeview in what was a very, very close game in that 10 o'clock semifinal. 6-5 was the final score between the Mohawks and the Wildcats. Final District 73 for you. Kent City takes down Montague 5-4 on their home turf. The Eagles move on, but they'd have trouble with the Ravenna Bulldogs in the district championship, 17-0. It only took 3 innings for the Bulldogs to prove they are a legitimate regional championship team and contender, and they could make a run to Michigan State, and we will see how that plays out there for Ravenna High School. June 5th we go. These are all the big ones upcoming here for some of the baseball regionals. Central Montcalm and Lansing Catholic dead battle. We alluded to that one earlier. Montcalm would fall to Lansing Catholic on their home turf. 9-0 the score from that one. And as of officially yesterday, as we're recording this Friday, on Thursday, Pinconning beats Reed City 8-1 the final score. The Coyotes season comes to an end in the regional semifinal round. Now we get to girls soccer districts, the ones that continue on from May 22nd. It's weird how the scores are laid out online, but here's what we got. Clare against Reed City, 3-2. The Pioneers over the Coyotes in that district round. Newaygo falls to Alma, 3-0. Shepherd beats Chip Hills, 6-0. The Blue Jays over the Warriors. Grant falls to Whitehall, 1-0 in that matchup there from Grant. And West Catholic dominates Kent City for an 8-0 win. And Lakeview goes on to beat Buckley 2-0, your final score in that one. We also had some other games on May 31st to go back to. Tri-County against Clare. It's Tri-County over Clare. Central Montcalm and Hemlock in softball in District 95. That game was delayed and moved to another day. 8-7 in 8 innings. Montcalm wins it, and St. Louis takes down Central Montcalm in the next round 4-1. White Cloud would do battle with Pentwater on that ensuing Friday. 20-0 White Cloud wins, but they would fall in the championship District 108 to the Holton Red Devils in 5 innings. Also in the regional round, Tri-County's season would come to an end at the hands of the Fremont Packers, a former conference foe, 3-2, your final score there. And the last game on deck that we have scheduled for you in softball, Newaygo will do battle today. They will have already played, as you're hearing this show live, against the Allendale Falcons in Regional 10 action. Oh boy, that was a lot. We're going to take a break. I'm going to catch my breath. We'll bring it back with track and field recap as well as the rest of summer preparations here on this show, here live on WBRN. Welcome back to the West Michigan Sports Show, presented by our great friends at Dazos Digital. Find your way through the infested forest of all of the technological advancements of social media by trusting the great experts at Dazos Digital. You can find their services and contact information at dazosdigital.com. We leave track and field for the last and the longest segment here on segment number 2. We got a lot of names to get through because of all the great individual performances from the finals. So we're going to go through Division 3, then Division 2, and Division 4, as Division 3 had the most participants in our local area, then 2 and then 4 respectively. So we'll read through the names. We'll get to the team scores if we're able to do so with the time we have allotted. We got a lot of names to go through, a lot of performances to highlight, and off we go. We start with the 400 meters. Christian Brown of Kent City of 50.35 to finish 6th overall for the Eagles. Gus Rohde finishing 4th in the 800 meters at 157.1, and his best performance definitely came in the 1600 meters. The junior ran a 4:15.58 for Reed City, a PR, and a second place runner-up finish in the state finals. Graham Costin behind him from Central Montcalm with a 4:24.20, and Anthony Kianis finishing 18th to cap off his career 4:45 in the 1600 meters. We go to the 3200 meters. Kent City's Sam Martini, the senior, headed to Wayne State running 9:39.23. Right behind him is Graham Costin, the senior, at 9:40.83. Isaac Clemenshaw runs 9:55 for Reed City, followed by his teammate Ryan Allen in 23rd with a 10:07 overall finish in the 3200 meters. The 110 hurdles, 39 inches officially measured, and 110 meters, of course, a little more than 100 meters. 6th place finish for Graham Wheaton, the junior, 15.18. He ran in the finals, investing his prelim time by 0.08 seconds. In the 300 meter hurdles, Wheaton finishing in 11th place, 40.86 the time for the Lakeview Wildcat. One spot ahead of him is senior Carson Gordon of Kent City with a personal record 40.80. Isaiah Lentz out of Reed City 42.4. The senior finishing 22nd there in the finals. 4x100 meter relay, Reed City finishes 34 with 45 flat as their final time with their quadruplet of sophomores Kianis, Wayne, McKinney, and Deitch. 4x200 meter relay, the Eagles finish 11th with Vanderlyn, DeVoog, DeBridge, and Carr. 4 of the hardest names in the book for some reason for me to spit out there for the Eagles. 4x800, Reed City finishes 2nd in the state, only falling to St. Francis with a time of 8:02.96. Shot put, Tyler Woodside finishes 32nd in the state. 41.4 is his final throw, 41 feet 4 inches that is for the Coyotes. Discus, Waylon Ligament from Central Montcalm with a 135.5, a PR finishing in 14th place. And Nick Maya of Kent City, 121.3. Apologies if I said your name wrong, Nick. 23rd spot there for Kent City. Pole vault, Noah Vanderline of Everett, 12 feet 9 inches, finishing 14th, and Colton McKillican of Lakeview, 11 foot 9 inches, finishing 31st. There for the Wildcats. Long jump, the final event on the men's side, Jack Deitch finishing top 7 in the state, 20 feet 3.75 inches, the sophomore out of Reed City. We go to the women's side, 100 meters, Ariana Musso of Lakeview finishing 12.87 seconds to run 100 meters, 10th place overall in the finals. Nia Bell also in 10th for Everett in the 200 meters, 26.22, a personal record for her. Molly Carlson, the top freshman in the state, finishing 23rd for Reed City, 26.98, and freshman Ava Johnson right behind her in 29th out of Lakeview, 28.03. Ariana Musso finishing top 4 for Lakeview, 59.04 in the 400 meters there for the standout senior. Cameron Soliday, 2:18.94 for the Wildcats. She finishes 3rd in the 800 meters. Cameron Soliday also finishing 7th in the 1600 meters with a 5:10.54. Right behind her was senior Miranda McNeil out of Moy Stanwood, finishing 9th with a 5:15.56. In the 3200 meters, Lila Volker out of Kent City, finishing with an 11:01 final time, 3rd place overall. Right behind her is fellow junior Kaya Hoffman out of Central Montcalm, 11:09 the final time for her in the 3200 meters. Moy Stanwood standout Miranda McNeil also with 11:21, and Gracie Houtman of Kent City, 11:51 in the 3200 meters, finishing 8th and 14th respectively. Ava Johnson, the lone local competitor out of Lakeview with the 110 hurdles, finishing 6th. Good start for the freshman. She also finished 7th in the 100-meter hurdle prelim, followed by Bella McQuarrie of Morley Stanwood, finishing 26th, not advancing to the finals this year. Ava Johnson also in the 300-meter final, in the hurdles that is, 51.23 her final time, finishing 27th for the Wildcats. Relay time, Lakeview 52.24 for the 4x100-meter relay. That's good for 19th in the state, Division III. 4x4 finals, Lakeview also finishing in 10th with Scarlett Willison, Soliday, and Musso with a 4:14.16. 4x800-meter relay, Kent City with a quadruplet of Houtman, Freeland, Max, and Volkers, finishing 5th overall in the state. Central Montcalm behind a couple spots in 8th with Kosen, Jordan, Chapanis, and Hoffman at 10:07.24. Shot put, 4 kilogram that is on the women's side. Lexi Martin, the sophomore Moy Stanwood, with a 31-foot-4-inch throw, finishing 26th. Addison Corkle of Kent City in discus, 22nd, with an 82-foot-6-inch throw there for the Eagles. High jump, Alexis Curry out of Central Montcalm, 4 feet 10 inches, finishing 15th, as well as pole vault. Sylvia Freeland, Molly Willison, Madeline Sturley of Kent City, Lakeview, and Pine River with respective heights of 8'6", 8'6", and 7'9", and respective places of 21st, 27th, and 28th. And finally, the last competitor for Central Montcalm, Danica Phoenix, 14 feet 9.75 inches, finishing 21st in the long jump. That's Division 3. That was the longest one, so thank you for bearing with me. Now we go to Division 2. Starting in the men's 100, Owen Barenwald finishing 7th with an 11.2 overall time for the Tri-County Vikings. He also finished 9th in the 200 in the prelims, that is, finishing 22.5 seconds. Porter Westendorp of Cadillac, 22.98 to finish 20th, the freshman out of Cadillac. 1,600 meters, Hayden Gould of Big Rapids, a 4.44 for a 30th overall finish there. This is, of course, the Division 2 finals from Hamilton High School, Hawkeye Stadium, that is. The 110 hurdles, Trace Lasky of Tri-County, 16.11, 26th place overall finish in Division 2. 4x1 for Big Rapids, finishing 13th with Nordland, Heck, Foster, and Dabowski. Cadillac behind in 26th with Tuck, Westendorp, Cochran, and Vermeulen, finishing with a 44.22 once again. 4x200 meter relay, same duos for both teams. Big Rapids, a 130.46 and a 130.83 there for Cadillac. Shot put, Mike Stout finishing 23rd for Tri-County, 47.3 feet in the 12-pound shot put. Discus, that's a 1.6 kilogram. Why they changed that is beyond me. Finishing 33rd, Rosso, 106 feet 2 inches in the discus for Tri-County, the standout senior. High jump, Charlie Howell, 6 feet 3 inches, finishing 12th in the state in the high jump and pole vault. Xander Antor of Tri-County does not put a height together, but a good performance all season long from the sophomore On the women's side, Hannah Johnson, the senior, finishing 20th in the 100-meter prelims. Nalea Fricke as well, the standout freshman, finishing 22nd, 13:09 and 13:14, respectively, for Cadillac and Big Rapids. The same duo did battle in the 200. It was Fricke over Johnson in the prelims, 15th and 17th for 26.15 and 26.19, respectively. Madison Lundquist of Cadillac finishing with a 59.88 in the 400-meter final. Ella McNearney also in the 800 meters for Cadillac, 28th with a 2:25.75, and Brooklyn Brown of the Vikings, 11:19 in the 3200, good for 13th place in the state. For the 4x1 meter relay, 4x1 meter, what? That doesn't make sense. 4x100 meters, some people call it the 4x1, 50.46 for the Cardinals, with Malloy, Blackwell, Turner, and Fricke finishing 10th. And in the 4x2, that same quadruplet finishing 9th. Cadillac would finish 4th, though. Avery Meyer, Charlie Bennett, Madison Lundquist, and Hannah Johnson finishing 1:43.65 for the Vikings to get on the podium. 4x4, Cadillac, Newaygo, and Tri-County, respectively, in 16th, 24th, and 27th, with times of 4:13, 4:16, and 4:19. For the throws and jump shot put, Mackenzie Johns of Cadillac, 38 feet 2 inches for a 10th overall finish. She would also finish 10th, ironically, in the discus, with a 119-foot 2-inch throw in the finals. Pole vault, Madison Lundquist, 11 feet 6 inches for the standout senior from Cadillac. And in long jump, Sophia Blackwell, 15 feet 8.5 out of Big Rapids in the 16th place spot. Lundquist finishing 3rd there in the finals. Now we wrap it up with Division 4. Before we go, we'll start with the 200 meters. It's Drew Van Epps, the junior from Marion, 24.33 to finish 19th. Noah Robinson, 22nd, the senior out of White Cloud, 24.52 in the 200. In the 1600 meters, it's Carson Fundel, the senior, 4:30.16 for the Indians, finishing 9th. He'd also finish 24th in the 3200 meters with a 10:33.05. 110-meter hurdles at 39 inches, Giuliano Vendetti of White Cloud, 17.43 seconds, 21st overall. And in the 300-meter hurdles, Giuliano finishing 22nd for White Cloud at a 45.5 time. 4x100 meter relay, White Cloud, 47.1 seconds, finishing 25th, with Collard, Robinson, Crawford, and Robinson. The only substitution is Higgs in for Collard. In the 4x2, they finished 17th with a 1:36.91. Cruzan, Fudel, Koenig, as well as Carnes, 8:47.25 for a 19th overall finish there for the Indians in the 4x8. Shot put, Lloyd Seabright Johnson with a 51 feet 8.75 inch throw for the Indians, finishing second runner-up in the state. James Williams of Marion finishing 27th with a 39-foot throw. Seabright Johnson also in the discus, 8th overall with 132 feet 6 inch toss. High jump, Braden Prelip is your champion in Division 4, 6-foot, 8-foot jump there for Marion. Noah Robinson finishing in 3rd, and his brother Jaden finishing in 11th at 6'6" and 6 foot respectively. Finally, for the women's side, Justice Dixon out of White Cloud finishing 15th with a 13.44 second time in the 100-meter prelims. She would also finish 20th in the prelims for the 200 at 27.76. 4x100 meter relay, Edwards, Brown, Dakin, and Dixon, 52.70. That's good for 11th in the state for the Indians. Michaela Cruzan, your national runner-up. I shouldn't say national, state runner-up in Division 4 with a 117-foot 2-inch throw from Merriam. Andrea Feldposh, no height for White Cloud, but great season for the senior, as well as Amelia Thompson, 18th overall. The senior standout from Crossroads Charter Academy with a 14-foot 10-inch long jump. There you have it. That's all of the results in track and field in fast recap style. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to subscribe. We got great interviews coming up, back to regularly scheduled programming next week, and we look forward to talking to you then. But until next time, this has been an edition of the West Michigan Sports Show presented by Dazos Digital right here on News Radio WBRN.